If you're on a budget, or if you want to keep your system as portable as possible, you would probably have to make the tough choice of which lens port to get with your Seafrogs housing. I am fortunate enough to get my hands on most of their lens port options, and I'll be testing each of them out thoroughly. I will be giving you my opinion on each port so you can make a well-informed decision when picking one. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Bernard and welcome to the channel. For today's video, I'll be reviewing the different lens port options that Seafrogs offer for the Sony underwater housings. This video is applicable to all the Sony full-frame housings, regardless of which camera model you use, as the lens ports are cross-compatible. By the way, this video is not sponsored and my thoughts are not influenced in any way. With the disclaimer out of the way, let's get started on this review. The very first thing you should do is to go to this document that Seafrogs provided on their website to identify which lens port is compatible with the lens you plan to use. I will include this link in the description below. From there, you will probably notice that you have a few options for each lens. For example, if you are using the 20mm f1.8, you can pair it with either the 4-inch dome port or the 6-inch dome port. However, you are unable to use the 8-inch dome port with this lens. FYI, the 4-inch dome port is essentially the standard flat port swapped out for a dome. The lenses you can use with this port is the same as the standard port. Let's take a look at another example. If you're using the 16-35 f4, that lens is compatible with all three dome ports. It is important for you to take note of which port your lens is compatible with to prevent the mistake of buying the wrong one. If you happen to be fortunate enough to own a lens that allows you to use all three dome ports, which one should you pick? Let's do a comparison. There are a few lenses that fit this category, but for this test, I'll be using the 16-35 f4. The first thing we will look at is how each port would affect the field of view. All images are shot at 16mm from the same spot. On paper, it states that there is an amplification coefficient of times 0.7 for the 8-inch dome port. Looking at the comparison footage side by side, you can see that the 8-inch dome port indeed has a wider field of view. Now that we know how the size of the dome affects the field of view, let's take a look at how it affects split shots. One big reason for getting dome ports is so that you can get nice over and under shots. For this test, I got my model to sit in one spot while I shot from the same distance at surface level. If you look carefully, the amplification of the 8-inch dome port gives it a wider field of view and the separation is much more distinct. Looking at the footage side by side, although the 8-inch dome port is the clear winner for over and under shots, I must say that I'm really impressed with the 4-inch dome port performance. However, I must point out that it is harder to get that sweet spot with the 4-inch dome, while it was effortless with the 8-inch. If you are planning to take many over and under shots, I would say that the 8-inch dome port is the clear winner for this purpose. However, if you are planning to use this dome port mainly for underwater diving and pairing this with a 16-35mm lens, you are effectively getting a focal length of 11.2mm to 24.5mm because of the 0.7 times amplification. In my opinion, that is too wide of a focal range for underwater shots and makes your lens less versatile. However, if you are using the 24-70 f4 with this dome port, I would say it will be a very good combination because you will be getting a focal length of 16.8 to 42mm underwater. One downside of this port is that portability is going to be an issue as it is the most bulky among the three options. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the 4-inch dome port that would not really alter your focal length underwater, which is a good thing in my opinion. This port is also the smallest of the bunch, so portability is a big plus. And despite being small, you will still be able to get over and under shots should you want them. However, this lens port doesn't have the petal hood that is featured on the other two dome ports. That means your front element isn't as well protected, and that is something you have to sacrifice for portability. Let's now take a look at a 6-inch dome port. This dome port will be the best balance between portability and versatility. Whether you're taking fully submerged images or over and under shots, this dome port will do well for both. Personally, if I could only pick one, I would go for the 6-inch dome port for its versatility. However, the 4-inch and the 6-inch will make a very powerful combination. Ultimately, it boils down to personal preference and what you plan to use it for, and the goal of this video is to just provide you with the information for your choice and not to tell you what to buy. Let's now move on to the other two ports that we have. We will now be comparing the flat long port and the flat long port with the 67mm thread. This comparison will be much more straightforward. The main reason for me to own either of these ports is to use my Sony 90mm macro lens. The benefit of going for the flat long port is that you have more lens options. There are 6 different lenses that you can use with this port. For the flat long port with the 67mm thread, the downside is that you can only use the 90mm macro lens with it. However, the benefit of this port is that you can screw on filters on the front element. It will be useful for people who use red filters. Another benefit of this port is that it comes with a cover that could protect the front element while in storage. The flat long port doesn't come with any covers. In terms of size, the flat long port is slightly larger than the one with the 67mm thread, but it is very insignificant and barely makes a difference. Between the two, I would probably go for the one with the 67mm thread because I don't plan to use this port with any other lenses apart from the 90mm macro lens. I've pretty much come to an end of my comparison video, and if you guys do end up getting a Seafrogs housing, there are a few videos that I'll recommend you to check out on Seafrogs YouTube channel. Videos like the first time setup guide and how to maintain your Seafrogs housing are super useful videos to help avoid beginner mistakes. I have also included links on where you can purchase these items in the description below. And in case you guys are wondering, these are not affiliate links, I'm just being helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. That's it for today, it's a wrap!